How's it going, people? Stevie here with another batch of videos for you. The next 3 videos are going to be focusing mostly on any other articles, I should say, that was being found on the internet. This is what we've found ourselves, not given to us from sources. So these are mostly focused outside of Western countries. So this first one is going to be, we're going back into Africa again, South Africa, and then the one after will probably be in Brazil, and the one after that will be in Croatia, where Kim and her fake trust, the Manna World Holding Trust, has been mentioned on the internet in pages of, I won't say documents, but mostly to do with online newspapers. But today we're going to focus on the VBS Mutual Bank, which back in 2018 apparently was being liquidized because of the loss of funding and keeping afloat. And this newspaper called Limpopo Mirror is a popular paper out there where they go into. I'll put the links in the description for all that I show you in the video today, where you can see, read it in your own time. I'm just going to show you some highlights of it. So let's get into it. So these chaps here, this is a news conference that was, I think it was in 2019, I think it was, where this guy, I think on the left, Enoch Ratalabala, is part of a group called Afrocapacity, which are a forum of people getting together to try and save the VBS bank. And you've also got some other members of the same group that are involved, and also I think it's the stakeholder as well. So what we're going to talk about today is the VBS, as the article says, was the VBS minority champion victim or scam of a scam. So let's read a little bit. I've highlighted some of the bits which I think are key, but let's just start off from the top. A company claiming to represent the minority shareholders of VBS Mutual Bank is fighting to have the liquidation of its bank reversed. The company also wants the South African Reserve Bank to release the $825 million they believe was paid to them that was earmarked for development projects in South Africa. Earlier this month, a group calling themselves VBS Shareholders Forum held a press conference in, I'm going to kill this name, in Thohoyandou. The group stated that in July 2018 it had mandated Afrocapacity Investment Group to rescue, commercialize and recapitalize VBS Mutual Bank. A legal team was apparently tasked to investigate and evaluate the facts surrounding VBS saga. One of the findings of Afrocapacity's task team was the VBS Mutual Bank had no opportunity to defend itself in the proceedings, to appoint a curator, and the step taken was thus irregular. They alleged that the report entitled VBS Mutual, The Great Bank Heist, compiled by Worksman attorneys on instruction of the curator, was a concocted story which needs to be investigated. Now, I looked this up, wherever the great bank heist is, and I found this. And it looks like there's a lot of scams and fraud going on around this bank, VBS Mutual Bank. I mean, I ain't going to read 148 pages of this. But I'll put the link in there. You're free to do so. But the way this report was put together, the person that put the report together, he said, I have for the past 5 months investigated the sorry affairs of VBS Mutual Bank. My report will reveal that the perpetrators of the heist at VBS made away with almost 2 billion rand, and they certainly did not put anything like the hard work and effort of Mr. Nightingale and his team. I trust that this case arrest will be made. So if you want to read that, I'll stick that in the description. So continuing with this article, who is Afrocapacity? Okay, one of the questions that popped up in the press conference was scheduled is who exactly is Afrocapacity Investment Group and what mandate it holds. The records of the Companies and Intellectual Property Commission show the company was registered in 2009 and has 2 active directors. The company was in the process of deregistration but become active again in 2017. The registered address is in Rodenbosch, Cape Town. The company's chief investment officer, Enoch Ratladbala, was quick to answer email questions and said that it was a 100% black woman-owned company with a majority shareholding and investment coming from overseas. I'll skip down a little bit. This is about the billions of dollars investment. A letter addressed to Reserve Bank Governor in August 2018, Ratlabala states that the company has gone out to China and America seeking investment and has secured more than 50 billion for infrastructure development. So who are the investors? When Ratlabala was questioned as to who the investors were and where their motives were, he did not want to disclose details. This is a private agreement between us and them. It is confidential, he said. These are loans to our company, not to the public government institutions. In documents provided during the press conference, 2 organizations that facilitated the funds are mentioned, namely Manna World Holding Trust and Shanghai Pudong Development Bank. There you go, Manna World Holdings. A quick search on the internet revealed that both these institutions have checkered reputations. In January 2018, Shanghai Pudong Development Bank was fined 72 million for illegal lending activities. Saab does not have Manna's permission to regulate. Okay, so Manna World Holdings Sovereign Trust is apparently some sort of cult movement believing in New World Order where money does not fall under the control of governments. No, on one website, the Kingdom of Manna Trust is described as the keeper of the collateral account for all nations after many attempts by Manna to release funds to nations and being blocked by the elites and corrupt governments. The Kingdom of Manna has been established to free up nations to give back sovereignty to all. The leaders are apparently a certain Kimberly Ann Goguen, Terence Cameron MacDonald, a self-professed priest, and Louis E. Taylor, a self-possessed philanthropist. In the effort to prove that the South African Reserve Bank does not have the authority to regulate banking industry, Afrocapacity distributed a letter supposedly written and signed by Manna's acting head of state, Kimberly and Goguen. In a letter, she claimed that SARB, the South African Reserve Bank, is a corporation owned wholly by the Manna World Holding Trust. She then proceeds to give it back to the people of the country. Manna World Holding Trust recognises only royal monarchs of South Africa to be tribal kings as appointed by the people, she states. Now remember, this is around the time the Manna World Holding Trust, Kim used the Kingdom of Manna with Jesper Ellerman. If you are new to our videos, then you need to look at the associates videos and also the FMCA code ones. And the final bit of this article is, have you been scammed? As a final question, Ratabala was asked whether the company that he represents does not become the victim of an elaborate international scam. We have come across, this is what he said, we have come across the same questions before from different stakeholders. We have done our own due diligence on our financial partners. The local banking institutes that were involved have also done due diligence on our guarantees, and they are satisfied. So this is how crazy this company is. Due diligence on the Manna World Trust. They don't even have their own business name, registered business. They don't have their own website. Well, I suppose they had at the time the Kingdom of Manna. But anyway, this article was April 22nd, 2019. And we found another one which was in May 2021. So they've kind of done a recap on this and found that, this has echoes of the Sexwale investment. A billionaire, South African billionaire called Tokyo Sexwale was also fell for a similar kind of scam as we look into it now. So they say the past week's conversations were dominated by a few topics. That one that kept on coming to the fore was internet scams. When former Gauteng Premier Tokyo Swells accused the South African Reserve Bank of holding on to hundreds of millions of dollars meant for development, he was told that he was a victim of a scam. Sexwale's claims, however, are very similar to those of the group who wanted to buy the embattled VBS bank 2 years ago, talking about the Manna World Holding Trust and also the Chinese representatives that wanted to purchase. This sounds familiar. In April 2019, Limpopo Mirror reported on a company called Afrocapacity plans to buy the about to be liquidated VBS Mutual Bank, the company which claimed to represent the minority shareholders of the bank, wanted to negotiate a deal with the liquidator, but no one seemed to believe that the company had money for such a transaction because they couldn't prove the funds. That's basically it. Scroll down a bit. Much like the Tokyo Swells is currently doing, Ratlabla accused the SARB of thwarting development and denying the citizens opportunities. The delay in release of the money has already impacted on housing, electricity and water projects. He writes and then mentions various local municipalities that should have benefited. He also argues that the money could have been averted many of the service delivery protests that at the time were crippling the country. So scrolling down a little bit. Exact details of the anonymous funders were not disclosed to the media, but the letters written to the SARB indicated that the deposits were facilitated by a group calling themselves Manna World Holding Trust. I won't, because a lot of this is repeating what was in the other article. Interestingly enough, the name Manna also pops up in a warning issued by the Bank of International Settlements, BIS. The bank also featured in part of the Sexwale claims and is used as proof that the transactions are legitimate in a section titled Fraudulent Schemes, says BIS. So this Tokyo Sexwale, when he was scammed and being made a fool out of by a trust, which I'll go into in a minute, the Manna World Holding Trust was also mentioned in that documentation. Of course, I haven't got it, but it looks like these reporters have seen it. I wouldn't mind at some point, maybe I could email them and say, if you got copies, I would like a copy of it. Probably Highland Likely they're going to hand over that to us. There's another bit at the bottom here. It says the BIS also mentions Manna Projects by name, but whether the reference is the same Manna World Holdings that interacted with Afrocapacity remains uncertain. The BIS has received reports of scams intended by letters from an institution called Manna Projects Consultant SDN BHD in respect to the Socio-Economic Development Initiative Program. Please be aware the BIS is not in any way associated with Manna Projects Consultant SDN BHD, and the BIS is not familiar with and has not approved or supported the SEDI program referring to those letters. Kim uses the BIS in all of her documentation, and they are saying basically Manna Projects, if it's the same, it sounds like it is, have nothing to do with it. I mean, they don't even have anything to do with Manna World Holding Trust, but then Kim keeps changing the name of the trust to try and cover her tracks because it's got a bad name for itself. Again, how many times have we proven that, whatever she's doing, she's trying what other people have tried to do is scam governments and third world countries, thinking they're not going to do proper due diligence. Well, this clearly showed that this Afrocapacity have not done their homework, or they're part of the scam. So I did a little bit of looking up Tokyo Sexwale. It says here, was scammed. There's no looted funds, says Tito Mobawini. This guy Mobawini apparently is something to do with the central bank. So let's look in here. It says Mr. Tokyo Sexwale's statement about stolen money is untrue, and it seems that it was a victim that many scams around. You cannot steal transmitted money from the central bank. How? His statement on television was untrue. Was unfortunate. We'll reach out to him, he said. So because he's a billionaire, they're pals, they understand each other. So he's probably got his phone number on hot dial. Another one here. So we find out what this trust is now. In business with the White Spiritual Boy Trust. So here he is, Sexwale, at a FIFA Congress in Switzerland, 2016. That's a picture of him. Right, so we'll read of this. Of all the things you could have imagined reading about this week, did you think it would be untrue? It would include a story about billionaire businessman Tokyo Sexwale buying into conspiracy theory called the White Spiritual Boy Trust. It is a scam so far-fetched that even US right-wing QAnons QAnoners. The conspiracy theorists who believe former US President Donald Trump is a superhero fighting to save the world from secret satanic overlords rejected it. So QAnons rejected this trust, which in due time they will do the same to Manna World Holding Trust, because we all know it's all bullshit. Right, Sexwale on Sunday night during an interview with JJ Tabane on the show Power to Truth on the ENCA, made a surprise allegation that there was a heritage fund set up to fund free education and the COVID-19 relief effort. He added that the money had been stolen. A little bit here says the money would allegedly have come from the White Spiritual Boy Trust. There's a little bit down the bottom about it. This trust having quadrillion US dollars. You know, we've gone through all this. There's so many of these trusts that's just absolute bullshit. So I had a little bit more digging around, and there was this on some other website. Of course, it's fake, called the 5-Star Trust. Again, they're all linked to Manna. They're all linked to Kim. You know, they're using these Swift codes that don't exist. And the White Spiritual Boy, apparently they've got, these are the list of bank accounts around the world that they've got. I mean, look how many zeros are in that. US dollars. Come on. It's sitting in the Bank of America. I mean, look at them all. Look. Goes on and on and on. I mean, there's hundreds of bank accounts. Look. Bank of Philippines, Citibank Philippines. Nearly every bank in the world. Hundreds. There you go, look. Friday the 13th. 4 days. Will be advised the above assets and accounts are under the assets of 5-Star Trust. Marion Horn, Executive Trustee, sole signature of the accounts. Master account. There you go. There you go. Whoever that person is gives their little passport. Oh, goodness me. So what else did I find on the net? Oh, look what we got. Neil Keenan, White Spiritual Boy bank account. Yeah, it's to poke his nose in it. Apparently this, back in 2017, this White Spiritual Boy Trust was getting a lot of publicity, and he, of course, he had to poke his nose in to say it's not true. Only I'm M, which I guess, you know, the M probably is Marduk, that Kim thinks that she defeated or whatever. Go on about this White Spiritual Boy. Only the collateral accounts that, of course, remember Neil Keenan was in Cosmic Voice. He was also in that Cosmic Voice group was Kim as an alias, and you've also got Thomas Williams who was in there. And they're all promoting Neil Keenan, and it was all in there, kind of like basically kissing his ass. And all of a sudden they leave and they start putting their own bullshit out of the trust. So, so this is what I found on. You got clicked on this here, and this is what Neil Keenan put out. It does mention the White Spiritual. This is basically the same list of accounts, but he has to highlight stuff in it, and he's like, oh look, you know, Red Dragon family own this, and he's talking about, I don't know, he's highlighted a few. It's just utter crap. I can't be bothered to read it, but it's just utter crap. There you go, look. Her Majesty Queen Alexander Elizabeth Mary Windsor II. I mean, it's just madness how people can believe any of this crap. This is the Committee of 300, yeah? This is where it's from. Look, I'm not saying that the Committee of 300 doesn't exist. All I'm saying is that these scammers, low-level scammers, and they are fooling people. And Kim is doing it. Remember, I said I should have mentioned the name was Christy Adams was her alias that's used in Cosmic Voice. And, I'll cover that again at some point. But that's going to be it for this video. So I'll put the links in the description field. Appreciate if you could like and, of course, comment. I'd like to see your comments. And also, if you've got anything you want to add that maybe you know more information about this than us, then please share it with us. And yeah, please share with people who would like to get that information out. And of course, subscribe. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.